Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Let's Talk session. And of course, joining us today is none other than my dear friend and colleague. We've known each other for quite some time, but she has embarked on a new journey, a new chapter in her life. And of course, she is now an author of the book, The Reigning Sunflower, which I had the privilege of reading before anybody else actually got a copy. Today we have Tamaya Henry, television producer at TVJ. And as I mentioned before, she is an author of her book of poetry called The Reigning Sunflower. And she's going to be speaking to us today about self-publishing 101. What does it really take to be a published author? How much work is actually put into getting a book out there? So Tamaya, welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you so much for having me, Karen. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here to share my experience and knowledge about publishing.
All right. So first and foremost, what inspired you to write the book?
Well, you know, when I'm asked that question, usually I'm like, what do I say? Because I've been writing this book ever since I was a teenager, so I can't really pinpoint on any one experience or any one inspiration, because my poetry, they're inspired by so many things around me. But I can say though that the one person that really instilled that idea of writing a book in my head is my grandma. Well, I used to write in a little diary daily, and call it what you may. I used to call it poetry. She found it, you know, some of them I wouldn't want her to see. And right. She found it, and I was worried about the feedback that, you know, she might give me. Maybe she might spank me or curse me out based on what I've been writing. But in fact, she did commend me on my writing skills, and she's like, "Child, you're talented, you know, you can write a book." So
Yeah.
I think it was that moment that, you know, she planted a seed in my head that, hey, all of this writing that I've been doing, that I can actually put it together and put it in form of a book.
All right. And, you know, in terms of what was that time where you said, okay, I know I think I have a body of work that I'm ready to say I want to do an actual book? Was self-publishing the first thought, or you were actually thinking of going the traditional route? Okay,
so no, about publishing, and poor little me, I'm like, me being an author? No, that's never gonna happen. But it was not until my like early 20s, late teens, early 20s, I realized that, hey, I really do have a nice body of work, and I can actually put it together. So in my research, I started asking people about, you know, past authors or authors that I know about how can I get my book, you know, together. In the beginning, a lot of people were pointing me to the traditional route, where you have to link with a company, get a publisher, an editor, you know, the whole works. But then in doing my research and watching YouTube videos, I found out that I can actually self-publish without any of these people. And I'm just like, oh, this is cool. So at first, it can be a little hard and a little frustrating to understand, especially the dynamics. And you probably might think that, hey, this is out of my reach. But I've tried the Kindle self-publishing KDP a couple times well before I've actually sat down to publish. So, and I've gotten disappointed and roadblocks, and I'm like, you know what, this is not for me. Publishing and authorship is not for me. But eventually I got it done.
Yeah. And what were, in terms of the roadblocks, what was it? Is it that the manuscript? Was it, how did you, in terms of go through the drafts for your work? What were some of the roadblocks?
Okay, so for me, it was kind of like, I'm a newbie. I didn't have anyone guiding me. So at first, I just had a Word document, no real format. KDP, they were asking for, you know, the different sizes. I had to familiarize myself with different book sizes. So I decided that, hey, I'm going to go with the 6x9, which is like the smaller size. So you have to think about it. It's a lot of things that you must consider when you're putting your book together. You have to think about your formatting, how you want your book to look. You have to think about the size. You have to think about the cover, and also uploading your book to KDP. They have a lot of red tapes. Like, you have to meet the standards, and if you don't, you're just going to keep uploading and they're going to keep rejecting. I think my book KDP kind of like rejected the whole format 100 times before I actually got it right. So you have to be determined. You have to say that, hey, I really want to publish this thing, and you have to make up your mind and say, I'm going to go all the way.
All right, so in terms of because I'm looking at the actual cover. Let me see if I can bring it up here, because I have the Kindle format, and I just want to show the actual viewers. Hold on, it's coming up. Because I thought you actually got somebody to do it for you. And when you said to me, no, I need to do it myself, I was saying to myself, this looks like a professional. So let me just show it here. People can see it. How did you go about like creating the artwork for this? Because probably in the traditional world, you have someone who's dedicated to creating the feel and the look of the book. How did you like go about saying, all right, this is what I wanted?
Okay, so YouTube again was my school. So I didn't have the money to pay anybody to create any like professional artwork for me. So I went on YouTube and I researched the different types of apps or softwares that I can use to create my book. And Canva is actually what I used to create that book cover. So what I did was I went on to Canva. I kind of like came up with the idea lies. I use AdobeSpark. That's like an app on my phone. That's what I used to create the front cover, and then I brought that over into Canva to kind of like the front cover look, and then Canva I created the back cover. So it's like two apps that I use: AdobeSpark, which is a cell phone app, and Canva you can also load on your phone as well, and you don't even have to pay for it. I mean, some of the stuff are you have to pay to get some art right, but for me, I just use the free software. A book cover, voila.
Yeah, because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, yeah, this looks like something of a professional that really sort of sat down and designed. But I guess that's the beauty of our generation, where we know believe in self-help, and we can actually do things pretty much on our own. As it relates to the genre though, because it's a book of poetry, did you do any research as it relates to, okay, I'm doing a book of poems. I don't know how in terms of well it's received in the market, or you just said, you know what, I'm just going to put my work out there and see what happens?
Okay, so as it relates to genre, editing your book, and it's even after that I'm learning how important it is to edit, because even with the manuscript and uploading it to KDP, it kind of does a scanning to find those, if it meets the guidelines, because if it has like multiple errors, they won't accept it. So I was just like, okay. So I kept on editing. I used, as a matter of fact, I paid someone to edit the book before. That was like 2 years ago. But it wasn't up to my the feel of the of my body of work. So the editing didn't strike me as how I would have wanted it. So I had to go back in myself, and I had to be editing and editing and editing. So even to the final hour, I was editing, and even it was published about 2 times. And after reading through and browsing through, I realized that, hey, I have to retract this book and put it back out there. But you know, it will never be perfect. You know, you won't have the perfect moment. Your first body of work won't be perfect. And I have to be telling myself that, because even though there are like some slight errors that I'm not proud of that are still in there, but I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm going to write another book and I'm going to perfect it. I'm going to make it better than the one that I published before. So editing is very important. So if you're doing like a book that is, you know, like high English standard and you are using it for educational purposes, you have to ensure that your spelling check, your grammar, punctuation, everything is on point. I can get away because it's poetry, then yeah, you have to ensure that you are on point.
All right. So as it relates to know, all right, the book is now published.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, when you have these huge publishing houses, they would give you an actual advance in order to for your book, and do all these tours, book tours, in order to promote the book. But now it's on the online space. So how are you promoting the actual publication?
Honestly, promotion is not my strong point, but thankfully to my friends and my supporters, I've managed to form an audience outside of the book or even before the book. You know, I used to do public readings on Instagram, and so I've developed an audience there. To date, they're the only ones that I've promoted to. And I'm still trying to get a hang of the promotion thing. Even on KDP, they offer you some promotional packages where you can promote on their website, you can promote in other stores, you can also get your book on Apple and all of these things that I am yet to explore, because, you know, exploring these things, it can be a little bit difficult to grasp. So I'm still in the process of trying to get a hold on the promotion, but so far promoting to my Instagram audience has been great. Sales has really been great. So you have to ensure that you are self-publishing, you don't have body behind it. Your marketing skills would definitely be plus, because to get the book sales up, you know, get payment for all the hard work that you put in, you have to ensure that there are people to buy your book and that there is an audience. So promotions, and I really don't have much tips on, because I said before, I'm still trying to get a hold of the marketing and promotion aspect myself.
All right. I guess, I mean, that's a good way to end it. I mean, as it relates to promoting yourself, it's good to have another platform, and Instagram is huge.
Yes.
Relates to that. And of course, guys, she also has her own YouTube channel, the Sunflower Squad. So you can definitely get some other informative insights from Tamaya, not only self-publishing, but also on other topics as well. Tamaya, any last words as you'd like to, for anybody who is really thinking of doing a book? What's your advice?
Okay, so I would say the biggest problem, or the biggest problem in wanting to publish a book is pretty much yourself, your fears, you know. So it's you questioning, doubting your body of work. That is the biggest roadblock. And once you've crossed that roadblock and decide that, hey, I'm determined and I'm going 100, book, then that is where all the magic happens. So first, get over your fear, believe in yourself, and believe in your work, and just know that there's always somebody who is going to be impressed or who is going to be reached by your work. So put it out there. Don't be afraid. Just share your work with the world, and the world will believe in you eventually. So those are my last words.
All right. Yes, that is so true. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tamaya, for our Let's Talk session. Guys, this is where we end for today. Remember to subscribe to the channel to get access to all the other conversations that we've had before, because that's what Let's Talk it's about. It's about amazing people having great conversations. So I'm going to be leaving all the information for you for Tamaya's book. You can get it on Amazon, just a click, and you can have your own copy. It's a good read. I'm not just saying this because she's my friend. It really is a good read. So thanks again, and see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Take care.